and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today, as you can see, I'm back. I took a brief hiatus, a pause to travel to Istanbul, Turkey, and to Greece, and a few other, Paris, France, Montreal, Canada, Frankfurt, Germany, short stops in airports. But I'm back now. I think I'm well rested. I think I beat jet lag. When I got to Turkey, I stayed up that night until 1 a.m. No, 2 a.m. I think. I went to bed. No problem. Woke up the next day at 7 or 8 a.m. Did my day as normal. Did all my days as normal. Going to bed, waking up. Everything was great. When I got back, for me, I got back yesterday, and I've been traveling for a little bit from the time I left Burju's house to the time I got to my house, which includes flying and airports and transfers and everything. It had been, how long was that? 36 hours, I think, just a little bit over 36 hours. And now I got home at like 5:30 in the morning, which is kind of strange because normally I wake up around that time or maybe somewhere around there. And so it's very strange coming home and being awake at a time when you're normally just, starting your day. I should have been ending my day. So what I did is I stayed up all night, all morning, all afternoon. I unpacked. I did a bunch of stuff that I had to do. And I went to bed a little bit early. I went to bed around 10 o'clock last night. Woke up this morning at 5:40. And I'm fully recovered from any kind of, I don't think I have any after effects. I feel good. So I just, that's what I think. If you're tired, fight it. Don't go to bed when at a abnormal time. Go to bed at your normal time. Just fight through it. That's my advice for beating jet lag. Yes, I did it. When I came back from Vietnam, it took me several days or a week to kind of get over the time difference and everything. But I'm back. And because I was in Istanbul, I'm going to do a record that I bought in Istanbul. If you're watching my travel videos, first of all, thank you. And you may have noticed that, or you may remember that I bought Kiss, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits when I was in Istanbul in a neighborhood called Balat, which is a very, very nice neighborhood, one of many that I saw in Istanbul. And I went to a great record store, and I got, if you saw it, you know what else I got, but I did get Kiss, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, normally I wouldn't have bought this. I think just because I was in Turkey or in Istanbul, and the thrill of seeing, oh my God, a Kiss record, one that I don't have. I really have no need for this greatest hits collection. But, and it was a fair price too, so I bought it. It was just cool to see. So that's why I bought it. That's why I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to get right to it. Not too much to say. I do still have the bag from this, and it was an excellent record store. They had lots of, and when people say it's a great store, it just means they sell music that person likes. And this is the store. It's called HMK Dönünce Plak Balat. This word, I think it's pronounced Dönünce. Plak Balat. Plak is like a disc or a record. Balat is the name of the neighborhood. There's where it is in Istanbul, and I got it there. And before I get to Smashes, Thrashes, Hits, I'll show you something else that I got quickly, Kiss related. A couple of singles. Calling Dr. Love. This was 175 TL, Turkish lira. How much is that? That's about 450 US, something like that, somewhere in that neighborhood, around $9. 90. God, so many different currencies. Where do I live? Mexico, 90 Mexican pesos. Calling Dr. Love, kind of cool to have. And this one, and these singles, they're just for collection. I'm only buying Kiss singles, not any other band. This is the worst Kiss song. I think I've gone on record as saying the worst Kiss song by the original lineup is Dirty Livin', and that's what this is. And it's kind of strange. The B-side is Sure Know Something, which I think almost anybody would agree is a much, much better song. But they, for some reason, released Dirty Livin' as the A-side. And I'm not even sure. This is from France. Okay. Is the other one also from France? Can't tell. But anyway, and this was 200 Turkish lira, which is about 100 Mexican pesos, about $5 US, something like that. There it is. I'm not going to talk about these. What's on the B side of Calling Dr. Love? Oh, Take Me. I actually had this when I was a kid. It didn't have this the cool sleeve. It just had a regular paper sleeve, you know, with the hole in the middle so you could see the label. But I did have Calling Dr. Love with Take Me as the B-side. So it was kind of cool to see that. And for a fair price. They also had The Oath as a single and I Was Made for Loving You, but they were too much for singles. They were, and looking back on it, I'll never ever see those again. I should have bought them. Anyway, so I will get to smashes, thrashes, and hits now. Here's the price. This was 635 Turkish lira, which is, let me do the math quickly, that's about 320 Mexican pesos, about 15, 16, 17 bucks US, something like that. And here it is, and it's used, of course, but it's in decent shape. Now this is, I only noticed this after the fact, and I don't care. This is, and I didn't even know this, this has the, I guess it's a, I don't know if it's a British or a European track listing. This has Crazy Crazy Nights as the second track. It also has Reason to Live. Those two songs, Crazy Crazy Nights and Reason to Live, were not on the version that I knew. This came out in 1988. What, Deuce is not on here? God, they replaced Deuce with either Crazy Crazy Nights or Reason to Live. What other song is missing from here? I'll have to take a look at that. Or maybe it's the same. There are 15 on the original version. The the non-European version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Same 15. So maybe as I go through it, and actually, yeah, oh geez, I just remember I need my phone to go through the proper track listing. I forgot. Anyway, so there it is, and there's what this track listing looks like. What's the other song? I totally boned that. Deuce is one. Calling Dr. Love. Yeah, Calling Dr. Love is not on here. Yeah, so they replaced Deuce and Calling Dr. Love with Crazy Crazy Nights and Reason to Live. People in Europe are idiots if they think those are better songs. Yeah. And it does have the, strange that the greatest hits packages had lyrics, but this one does. I don't remember, I really remember very, very little about the original version when I got this in 1988. But there it is. And what does the actual record look like? That's a label that I've never seen before. I thought it would be the Mercury label, but it's this. All right. So going through this track by track. Now, the track listing is a little bit different. On the version that I'm familiar with, it starts with the two new songs, Let's Put the X in Sex, and parentheses, You Make Me, and then Rock Hard. And I'll go by the original track list, not this European track list. So let's do them both at the same time. Let's Put the X in Sex and You Make Me Rock Hard are two of the shittiest Kiss songs ever. Those songs fucking suck. They're shit. They're complete garbage. They continued with, I mean, they sound like they could have easily been on Crazy Nights, which is not a good thing because I talked about Crazy Nights a month ago and I said how much I think that album sucks. Hot in the Shade came after that. I guess these two songs, Let's Put the X in Sex and You Make Me Rock Hard, they kind of would have fit on either of them. I think they're much more in the same spirit as Crazy Nights than Hot in the Shade. They just sound so weak and thin and poppy, and the guitar tone is just terrible. It sounds very, very light and synthesizery and just the cheesiest stuff. I wonder what Paul Stanley, it's amazing that this is the same guy that wrote Detroit Rock City and Love Gun and Strutter and things like that, is writing crap like Let's Put the X in Sex. What are the lyrics? I heard her calling in the middle of the night. I got a letter just the other day. She sent the picture, but she didn't sign her name. She wore high heels and a little black lace. I knew her body, but I couldn't see her face. She didn't leave a number, not an address or a clue, but something in that photograph reminded me of you. Baby, let's put the X in sex. Love's like a muscle, and you make me want to flex. That's what Paul Stanley says. I got a call in the middle of the night. Heavy breathing never sounded quite so right. She said, ooh, yeah, I wish that I was there. I asked who was calling, but she wasn't playing fair. Sometimes you got to suffer for the pleasure that you seek. You're begging for an eyefill, but you only get a peek. I heard, Oh yeah. She said she knew my secrets, but I didn't have a clue. Then I saw those black lace panties, and I knew that it was you. Just complete. It's just so bad. I know Mike Pratt loves it. Guarantee Mike Pratt loves it. He likes the shitty side of Kiss. And then the second one, You Make Me Rock Hard. It's really no different. These are real companion songs. Maybe it's worse. This almost sounds like, the guitars almost sounds like, they sound very bright, like they should have horns in them or something. And I guess it's very cleverly titled You Make Me Rock Hard. So it's like, I'm a rocker and you make me rock hard for you. You know, I'm going to play really hard for you. You make me rock hard. But also you make my penis hard. You get my blood flowing and my penis gets erect and it's rock hard. So I guess it's the latter that he's talking about. Hot lover, turn up the heat. I want your sugar, girl. Your love tastes so sweet. I feel a fire burn under me. I got a hunger that your love's got to feed. You make me sweat. You turn me around. You get me up. You never let me down. You make me rock hard, baby, all night. Which is, baby, let's put the X in sex. It's really the same chorus, same melody anyway. Come on, baby, let's rock hard, baby, all night. Yeah, just horrible crap. And to make this version I have even worse, Crazy Nights is in the middle of them. But on the version that I'm a little bit more familiar with, these were the first two. And the next was... you know what? I forgot. I did take notes. I listened to this because some of these versions, they are different, I guess remixed from the original versions. And I wasn't sure which ones were which. So I did write some notes for, I got at least 6 that I have differences, at least noticeable differences. I think that the third song on my version was Love Gun. And I remember when I talked about Love Gun, I don't know when that was, 4 or 5 months ago or something. The song Love Gun, I mentioned that I would like to, I think I mentioned I would like to hear, the guitar solo in Love Gun, Love Gun, and then the backing vocals come in, Love Gun, Love Gun, Love Gun, while the choruses or the solo is playing. And I think I said, because I thought this, I would like to hear what that solo is without the backing vocals, because the backing vocals kind of, distract you or take away from the guitar solo. And I guess I thought that maybe subconsciously, knowing that they did that on this version. So I actually like this. I think it's cool. They cut out those backing vocals, Love Gun, and you can hear Ace's guitar solo better. Yeah, so that's cool. So that's the difference about Love Gun. And I'm not sure if I can do this in order. Okay, yeah, next is Detroit Rock City. Yeah, it's kind of more or less the same order. Detroit Rock City, this one has no intro. The Cadillac Michigan Youth was blah, 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 driving. The radio playing, that's not in this version. And I think there was, and I'm not really that familiar with believe it or not, the studio versions, because I listen to live Kiss more in the studio, but I think there was one extra, Get Up, Get Down. I think there's one extra of those. I'm not sure. What comes next? I Love It Loud. This is weird that, the I Love It Loud, the original version, the drums are just huge. They're very bombastic and just very full and loud. And on this one, they're not at all. They sound just very thin. It almost sounds even like a drum machine. I don't know what they did. But there's a definite difference there. And there's also no fake ending, on the original I Love It Loud. The and then it fades out and then it, fades back in. This one just fades out and then that's it. Next is, on this one it's Reason to Live. And I guess on mine it's Calling Dr. Love. In this one, I think just overall the guitar tone is definitely different on this version than the original. And the vocals come in one, I'm not sure what it is, if it's one measure sooner or one bar sooner. And just the overall tone of that song, of Calling Dr. Love on this one, is a little bit different. And also there might be a little bit difference in, at the end of Calling Dr. Love, the ooh and yeah, things like that. Those might be a little bit different. Next was, I'm trying to get these all right, Lick It Up. I like Lick It Up. I think a lot of Kiss fans don't really like it. I like it. I think there's nothing new about that. It seems like the 80s Kiss songs, except for I Love It Loud, they just mostly left alone anyway. I didn't hear any difference on this version of Lick It Up. Next is Heaven's on Fire, same thing. I love Heaven's on Fire. Remember when that came out? I really, really, really loved it. I got a little bit tired of it, but I think Heaven's on Fire is a very Very, very good Kiss song. Very catchy. Now on my record, the next one is, oh no, on this one too. Oh, it's Strutter. And I might be getting a little bit out of order, but Strutter, as far as I could tell, was the same. Although I'm not that familiar, as I said, with the studio versions as much, especially from the first 3 albums. Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, and Dressed to Kill. But from what I knew, Strutter was the same. Next is Beth. Now, obviously, this is Eric Carr. It's the same musical track, and it's just Eric Carr singing instead of Peter Criss. And Eric Carr, I thought this at the time, and I don't know if I've listened to this song or anything from this album since this came out in '88, since then, or maybe shortly after that. Just had no use. I bought this originally just to, complete the collection. Beth, next is Tears Are Falling. I love Tears Are Falling. Unchanged. I think it's the same version on here as it is on Asylum. I Was Made for Loving You, Baby. No difference again. I didn't hear any difference. And I like, the Kiss had some very catchy songs. Even in their 80s. I know I Was Made for Loving You was 79. But I can't deny that I Was Made for Loving You is a great song. And just 2 more, Rock and Roll All Night. Now this one is very different. The drum sound on this version is, did I miss? Oh no, I got them all. The drums sound, not just the drums in the intro, but the drums throughout sound very, very different on throughout on Rock and Roll All Night on this version and the other one. And maybe I think also just the overall tone of Rock and Roll All Night on this version sounded different than the Dressed to Kill version, although I'm much more familiar with the Alive version. And then the last song is Shout It, Shout It, Shout It Out Loud. This one is pretty different too. This one has a totally different tone to it. I think just the overall sound of it was quite different. The ending is definitely different. The original one on Destroyer ended with woo, Paul Stanley, woo. And this one, after he does the woo, it goes on again for another chorus. And then it ends with just shout it, a cappella. And then that's it. Shout it, shout it, shout it out loud, shout it. That's it, a cappella. And that's it. So there it is. So yeah, kind of cool to have. This isn't, I don't know if I would have bought this album if I had seen it in El Chopo or, anywhere else. But, you're in a faraway land and I don't know, you get excited a little bit more and you buy stuff that you don't really need, including a bunch of stuff over here that I bought when I was in Turkey. And I guess, let's say overall, I guess this is, at the time, this is a pretty good balance of Kiss stuff. It had, what is 70s stuff? Love Gun, Detroit Rock City, Strutter, Calling Dr. Love on my version, Rock and Roll Night and Shout Out Loud. A good representation of their old stuff. And new stuff, or modern stuff, let's say I Love It Loud, Lick It Up, Heaven's on Fire, Tears Are Falling, they redid Beth. And even though the 2 new songs fucking suck, at least they made an effort to put something on it instead of just churning out another, 15-song compilation. So that's it. Unnecessary to have, but kind of cool to have. And there it is, Kiss, Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits.